Hey YouTube, I'm Ashley and this is In Your Feelings. So this is the vlog where we're going to discuss topics that occurred throughout the week that have us all in our feelings. And the point of this vlog is to give suggestions on how to move forward from really emotionally stressful events. It's really startling how so many of us do not know how to deal with our emotions in a mature fashion. So I just want to give suggestions as to how to do it. You're supposed to, my 3-step process is to experience, learn, move on. Now before we get started with today's video, I'm going to ask that you guys go ahead and subscribe and also hit the notification down below so you know anytime I post a video you will be notified. The last thing I want is for you to be in your feelings about a video being posted and you had no idea that it was out there. Also, this is a forum where you can submit your personal stories or anything that personally has you in your feelings. Feel free to do so. You can leave comments below. I'm going to have my email address down if you want to email me personally. I'm going to have my social medias out there if you want to send me something on my social medias. Anything you want to do, let me know. It's a non-judgment zone. It's coming on from love, people. Right into me, okay? And without further ado, let's get into our video. So of course we're gonna have to talk about Starbucks because Starbucks has me and my feelings and it's been all over the news. You should have already known it was going to be about Starbucks. If you don't know what happened this week in Starbucks, I'm gonna link the story below. Basically, racial discrimination at its finest all the time, but least suspected from Starbucks because Starbucks is all about customer service and customer experience. It's just very ironic that a store that really promotes that is going through what they're going through right now. I will say though, when the CEO first came out and stated that, hey, we're sorry, this is something that we're going to address with training, I was like, no, that form of hatred has nothing to do with training. The manager didn't accidentally spill coffee on anybody. They didn't mess up anybody's order. Those sort of problems are addressed with training. But someone that racially discriminates against somebody that's peacefully sitting and enjoying themselves in the restaurant, that's reason for letting go. When the CEO came out and apologized and said, hey, we're going to introduce this sort of topic in our next training, yeah, protesters weren't having it. They were like, no, we're still going to sit out here and shut this store down because that's not good enough. It wasn't until the manager was let go, supposedly. I don't know if that's true or if the manager was moved from to a different location. I heard that side of the story too. I don't know what's true and what isn't right now. But I do know that Starbucks is closing all stores May 29th to move forward with a training initiative, basically to show all of their employees how not to discriminate against people of different race. I worked at Starbucks. I'd be like, do I have to show up? Like, what do I need to learn? Like, I don't think I'm going to discriminate against anybody. The color of my skin is incriminating enough. The last thing I want to do is cause some sort of commotion by discriminating on somebody. Actually, that should be a day off for all minorities at Starbucks, and all the non-minorities got to show up. Like, I know that's discrimination, but damn it, they need to feel it too. Okay, you're right. That's not the right way to go about it. So let's talk about the right way to go about it, right? So a lot of us felt really passionate about this story, blacks or non-blacks, but for blacks, it's different. It's like real because this is what we experience all the time. Yeah, it just continues to add that fear, like, okay, if we do go out, it's a chance we'll get the cops called on us and we could die that day. And I don't mean to put humor on it, but that's just really what it is. But if you are black and you're discriminated against, the best thing to do is to stay calm. It's unfortunate that this is the case, but because, like I said, our skin is black, it's incriminating enough. If we show any emotion or if we show that we are trying to defend ourselves, we become the threat, although we were just brought into this situation by another threatening party and we're just defending ourselves. We are now the threat in the situation if this occurs. So what those guys did at Starbucks, they did the right thing. They did try to plead their case, but then when they told them to leave and they started handcuffing them, they did so. They didn't resist. They just left and was like, fine, we'll deal with this on the back end. And now they're in mediation with Starbucks because they about to get paid. With all jokes aside, fuck the money, because at the end of the day, these guys could come in with their money bags on Starbucks payroll for the next 19 years and they could still be discriminated against and still thrown out of a store. It doesn't matter if you're black. It doesn't matter if you have money. It doesn't matter who you know. If you are black, okay, I'm gonna end it there. And to anyone that feels hatred towards anyone that's different from them, whether it's the color of their skin or their sexual preference, you're gonna have to do some digging. Number one, you're operating in a really unhealthy mental state. To show hatred towards somebody just based off of what they like, what they're doing in their personal lives or their genetic makeup, it's something wrong with you, and it's going to take you to dig deep to figure out where this hatred is stemming from and why you're deflecting it onto another group. Secondly, we have countless examples of people that have done something that's been racist and that went viral, and now their lives are miserable. Okay, can you imagine this manager, number one, losing their job, number two, the most hated person in America like this week? Can you imagine what they have to put on their application when they say, hey, so why were you let go from your previous company, or why did you leave? They're gonna be like, oh, well, I only caused the only protest in Starbucks history. For a couple of days, it was shut down, the restaurant that I worked. Let me see, what else did I do? I only cost the company millions of dollars. Number one, they had to come to a settlement agreement with the guys that I discriminated against. And number two, they shut their restaurant down for an entire day, losing out on millions of dollars, all because they had to train all associates how not to show hatred towards their customers. It caused a lot of stress in the employees that worked directly in that Philadelphia store for the last couple of days. I caused them so much stress in their lives. I mean, they had to deal with protesters head on. Meanwhile, I was hidden by the company and I was safe and protected from all of it. Like, they didn't even release my name. At the end of the day, I created negative press for my company and I cost them millions of dollars. But hey, somebody got to get black people up out of restaurants. Yeah, so that manager probably won't be in management anytime soon. Probably won't be in customer service anytime soon. If anything, they should give them the clean the toilets job. Now, that's not a job to demean or anything. It's a very important job, okay? Cleaners out there have a very important job. Your experience at a store is different if you go into a dirty store versus a clean store. So the cleaning personnel, they are very important. The job of a cleaning personnel is quite unique and disgusting in some ways, but the benefit is that they don't have to deal directly with customers, and that's where that person belongs. So if you're out here with this superiority complex and you're discriminating against people and you're spewing out this hatred towards people that are just living their lives and minding their business, it's only a matter of time before your karma comes back to you. I would just warn people that feel this hatred in their heart to understand that it's something internal. It's something that happened to you. It may have been in your childhood. It may have been taught to you, but it's not right. And as you begin to grow and you start to learn what's right, what's wrong, and how you've been misguided, it is up to you to change it. Okay. The second thing that I want to talk about, and it's a lighter discussion, is J. Cole's album. It's going right in lines with what's going on with this vlog here. J. Cole, his album is touching on a lot of emotional stuff, and I love it. Like, I'm not usually a J. Cole fan, and it has nothing to do with my educational level. You know those people that be on social media every time a conscious rapper drop an album, and they're like, oh, you gotta be smart to understand this. It's like, no, it just may not be your cup of tea. I like ratchet music, and I feel like the same messages that I get from J. Cole could be some of the same messages that I get from ratchet music. They just deliver it differently and over bigger beats, like 808s, and I love 808s. So yeah, J. Cole is just spilling out all his feelings, and the artwork on his cover I like too. Is like that he's just spilling it out, like all his feelings. So I love it. And there have been some testimonies like on social media about his album, people crying over his album. I felt a strong emotional connection to like his first album, well, a particular song off his first album that I couldn't even listen to. That's because I didn't deal with a lot of the emotions from my past and from my childhood. I've dealt with them now, and I've become a much confident person, especially when it comes to handling my own feelings. But when I see such a big reaction to an album like that, that's because he is spilling out his feelings, and it's because a lot of people can't even say out loud like what's bothering them or what's caused their anxiety or their anger or their stress. They can't even name it. But when someone else starts to talk about it, it touches the nerve and it creates these feelings. But the worst thing that you can do once you start to get to that surface level is to continue to bottle it up and hide it and to mask it through drinking or smoking. What you want to do is you want to deal, you want to experience it, learn from it, and move on. I myself have healed completely and my emotions are totally different. Like if I start to feel anxious about something, it's like I have an outer body experience and I'm like, oh wait, Ashley, you're getting mad, why are you getting upset? And then I go over it and I decide whether or not it's something that's worth stressing about. Most of the time it is not, and I let it go and I move on. And that's how I operate, and that's how I stay cool, calm, and collective in a lot of situations, whereas other people react. And it's okay to react, because I still do, because I'm human, but the last thing that I want to do is to bring someone else down, and that's the one thing that irritates me the most. And so this is why I feel passionate about starting something where it's like, let's just talk about feelings, let's just get it out, and let's learn how to move on, because the last thing I want somebody to do is to be draining my energy. Okay, I'm tired of going around with these vampires sucking out all my energy because they want me to feel mad like them, and I don't. Anywho guys, thank you for tuning into this video. It is long enough. This is the first installment of In Your Feelings. So thank you for tuning in. Like I said, go ahead and subscribe and write me. Let me know what you think about this, and let me know what got you in your feelings. But until then, I'll see you guys next week.